So the challenge is this. I have 30 days to come up with 30 different characters, one different character per day. I'm allowing 5 minutes for some research if I need it, for props, clothes I guess. How do you remember clothes? How do you remember exactly clothes? And I only have 30 minutes per day because I have work to do, unfortunately. Come up with the idea and the whole sketch, all done in 30 minutes, but that's it, that's the challenge. Now, why am I doing this, you may ask? Well, I haven't been drawing many characters lately, and I feel like I'm always drawing the same things, characters that are in my comfort zone. So let's see how this challenge goes and what I come up with. So when I started the first drawing, I was thinking about drawing a piratess. I wanted her to have an attitude, so I started with the line of action and with the pose. And then I researched for some pirate outfit. Those kind of clothes are very detailed, so I really needed a reference for it. And I wanted her to have a gun originally, but then I switched to a bag of gold and I wanted her to have a blade instead. Once I laid out the first sketch, I decided that I didn't want to clean that up, but I wanted to start the line drawing on top to make it more clean. But I think this was eating up a lot of time and I only have half an hour to come up with the whole idea and the whole sketch, so I'm not sure if this was the right approach. Somehow she ended up looking like Carmen Sandiego, and when I posted online, a lot of people actually commented that I found Carmen Sandiego, and I wanted to draw a pirate, so I don't think this was actually very successful. In the days after, I explored some different ideas, like for example a mechanic and a witch, a little kid boy scout, and a kitsune, which is a fox spirit, a Japanese spirit called yokai. I decided to focus on cleaning up the first sketch instead of drawing a nicer and cleaner sketch on top, because this would save me a lot of time. So for day 6, I really wanted to focus on something cute. What I was imagining was that this kid really wanted some honey, so she camouflaged as a bee, and I really like the expressiveness of this drawing. But mostly I like cute things and I really enjoyed sketching this one because yeah, drawing cute stuff, it's definitely one of my favorite things. To achieve the cute effect, I went with a disproportioned head and eyes. It's just like puppies. And for the last day, I decided to draw a kind of a pre-teenage boy. So here we go. The first week is finished and I'm pretty excited because I managed to do all my characters, something a little bit outside of my comfort zone, so I'm pretty happy with it. I feel like I'm already expanding my visual library and this exercise is helping me a lot with that. So yeah, I'm excited for the next weeks. So for the new week, I decided to go for something with more realistic proportions because I drew so many cute things in the first week that I really want to try to bounce in another direction and try something different with different shapes. And I really wanted to draw at least one steampunk character. I always liked steampunk, but it looks very complicated because it has a lot of details, so I often refrain from drawing it just because of, I think it's a bit of laziness combined with some fear of the unknown, so I decided to go for it this time. I focused on the pose first, then body masses, and then I definitely needed to focus on the outfit. Yeah, this style has so much detail, so I gathered some references. The weapon is actually from Caitlyn from League of Legends, but all the other clothes are from different references all around Pinterest mostly. And yeah, actually I'm pretty happy with this one. I think the proportions are pretty solid, the anatomy is pretty correct, and I really like the outfit, so I was pretty happy with this one. In the days after, I explored some different ideas. In day 9, I really wanted to draw a modern kind of Sailor Moon. In day 10, I wanted to draw kind of like a centaur, but half sheep instead of half horse. And day 11 is actually an old idea. It's a gargoyle protecting some mouses. Day 12 is actually one of my favorites to this day. I really went out of my comfort zone for this one because I chose to draw an anthropomorphic animal, which is something that I don't do very often. I really wanted to draw this kind of a scientist mouse and combine these two things together. And I took inspiration from various photos of animals or some different characters. And I took some props here and there from either from some existing characters or some real props. I'm really proud of this one because it's actually not something that I draw very often. And because I was out of my comfort zone, I had to settle down the proportion of the characters first. And in fact, I really went on with the head size and the body size as first. And then I drew actually the outfit on top. And I really like it. One of the main things that you need to be aware of when you are drawing a character is that the silhouette needs to be very readable. Now with day 13, I really wanted to draw something spooky, so I went for dark mage vibe. I think it's a mixture between things I'm used to see from Halloween and black mages from Final Fantasy. And for day 14, I was thinking about a little girl that kind of decides which kind of passions to follow. So I put in front of her 3 different things and 3 different toys. Okay, so week 2 is finished yesterday and I think it went pretty well. I think I established pretty much a process for it, and now I have a technique that I'm confident with for rendering the characters. Yeah, I think I settled the style that I want to go for. Not to say that I'm not trying to push boundaries and try to think outside of the box and think of different shapes and different styles for the characters. It's just that I'm comfortable with the round brush in Procreate and I like shading with this brush. I used to use a lot the pencil before this challenge, and now I'm using pretty much the round brush for everything. Let's start with week 3. I'm still quite energized. I'm starting to feel a little bit tired, but I got this. Let's go on to week 3. So for the new week, I decided to introduce some more fantasy elements and go towards something different. I really like drawing tribal stuff, so I decided to go for a shaman, kind of. Someone that it's close to nature, but it also has some magic element to it. The mask comes from mostly Japanese culture. I think what the video doesn't show is the fact that I flip my drawing every now and then to check if the proportions are correct, because after a while you get used to see your sketch, so flipping the drawing really helps in spotting those kind of mistakes that you wouldn't see otherwise. In the meantime, since the beginning of the challenge, as you can see, I lost my Apple Pencil cup and now this is my life. Yeah. So for day 16, I wanted to go for something more magical and fairy, so I went for a gnome. And for day 17, this is actually very much taken and inspired from League of Legends character Maokai, and it's kind of a baby tree. Day 18 was another attempt to draw some kind of hybrid between human and animal, and day 19 is the more classical one with a student. My idea for day 20 was that I really wanted to draw a rider, and originally I thought about a dragon rider, but I didn't want to take the attention too much from the character, and a dragon, it's kind of like an intense subject, so I decided to go for a bird, kind of like a chocobo from Final Fantasy. I firstly wanted to draw from the side, but then I decided that I wanted more focus on the character than the bird, so I went for a 3/4 view with the right focus on the rider. And because I didn't want to go for a classical human-like character, I went for another animal as well. This one is kind of like a fox, but I ended up not drawing the tail because it wouldn't work with the silhouette and the overall composition. The thing that balances this composition out is actually the long tail of the bird that compensates for the weight of the character and the head that pushes on the other side. The next and last day of this week, I really wanted to draw something that had a vintage vibe, something like in a 50s style. While I was searching for some references, I found this really nice picture from the 50s, some really nice women's clothes that I really like, so I ended up drawing this woman in this dress with a really nice pattern, and I really wanted to make her feel stylish. So I gave her a nice fluffy haircut, and she keeps up the skirt, giving it a nice shape with the hand. I really felt that she needed a hat, but I didn't really want to ruin her nice haircut, so I decided that she would bring around her hat like that. Okay, so we finished week 3 and I'm quite happy of the results, but at the same time I'm starting to feel a little tired. I mean, keeping it up every single day, it's been quite a challenge. I mean, hence the name, right? I've done like 21 drawings. I'm starting to struggle a little bit to find new ideas and thinking outside of the box, so it's no secret that I like League of Legends. I play a lot of League of Legends, so there has been a few instances where I actually took inspiration from there, but it's not like I can do the whole challenge by drawing League of Legends characters. I mean, I can see the end of the tunnel. It's only 1 week and then I'll be finished. I am quite excited to start the last week. I guess the improvement comes with a little bit of struggle. I'm excited to see what the last week brings. New week, new theme or new set of themes, and I realized at this point I didn't draw anything sci-fi related, so I decided to, while sticking with my cute style, I could draw something different in form of props and thinking about a little robot companion for our main character. So I decided to imagine what it was like to go to school like in the future, and you would have your little, kind of like a Roomba, but that follows you around and helps you with, daily life tasks. So yeah, that was my idea, and I imagined that in the future you could have like screens actually on your clothes. And so the number 22 this time, I don't know if you noticed, but for each character I wrote a number. Day 23 was my attempt to draw a human bird. For day 24, it's the last week and I was really tired, so I decided to fall back to my comfort zone and draw a cute mermaid again. It's one of my favorite subjects and the one that I draw the most, so I had no trouble drawing this one. Another thing that I want to talk about is the fact that when you draw in value, you want to focus your contrasts where you want the attention of your viewer to be, and that's why for most of my characters there's a lot of black, for example, around the face, and this works as well with the details. If you focus a lot of details on the face, naturally your eyes are driven on the face of the character. And that's why for most of my characters I use freckles. I really like to draw freckles. Day 25 is actually, I took this prompt from the monthly character design challenge that runs on a group on Facebook. And this month it was Shroom Warriors. And for day 26, I just wanted to draw something stylish. Yeah, I focused pretty much on 90s fashion and I ended up with this drawing. Well, day 27 was a space cat, because who doesn't love space cats? And day 28 was actually Easter, so why not to draw an Easter bunny? Day 29, one of those that I'm most proud of from this challenge, I really wanted to draw more sci-fi stuff, but not necessarily the kind of classical sci-fi, and I really liked the first series of Dragon Ball kind of technology style, so I decided to take as a main reference actually Bulma, and I ended up drawing Vespa, and the research for this one was mostly Vespas actually. So I drew a Vespa and then I came up with a character. I put around some kind of sci-fi props. I didn't want to crowd the image too much because I really wanted to have a nice silhouette. I'm really happy and satisfied with this one of my best ones, I think. And finally, for the last day, I was so immensely tired that I didn't know what to draw, and my husband came up to me and saw me in distress and told me, why don't you put these random words together? And we came up with squirrel and a deep sea diver, and I ended up with this design not thinking that this was actually a character from SpongeBob. And I didn't realize that because I haven't watched SpongeBob that much until I posted it. And when I posted, a lot of comments were like, hey, this is Sandy. And I was like, who's Sandy? And then I Googled it and I was like, oh my God, this is actually Sandy. Well, still liking the design. So this was it. I finally got at the end of it. I finally got at day 30 and I finished the challenge. I'm so happy and so relieved. I was really tired. I gotta say, the last few days were really hard, but I'm really satisfied that I finished it, and I'm happy and satisfied that I got out of my comfort zone and I established a new process and a new confidence for drawing characters of different shapes and different styles. And I feel like this challenge helped me a lot, and you can definitely see the improvement from day 1 to all over day 30. I definitely need a break. Thank you for following me along with this challenge, and if you enjoyed it, remember to smash the like button. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm, and subscribe to see more. If you don't want to miss out on future challenges or you just want to see my art, and if you're interested in my digital painting courses, feel free to follow me on my socials at the link down below. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.